The most divisive, fascinating, embittering, and dramatic presidential election campaign in recent memory came to an end in the wee hours of Tuesday. Now, America votes. More than 200 million people eligible to cast ballots are finally deciding between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Trump, a billionaire first-time candidate whose political debut was initially seen as a circus act, bested 16 other Republicans for the right to face Clinton, who has lived and breathed campaigns and elections for more than 40 years. On Tuesday morning, most polling places on the East Coast were already reporting that voters were waiting for over an hour to vote. Hillary Clinton was one of the first in line on Tuesday morning as she and her husband, former President Bill Clinton, voted in Chapaka, New York. Donald Trump, meanwhile, cast his vote at 11 a.m. on Tuesday, showing up at his polling place with wife Melania, daughter Ivanka, son-in-law Jared Kushner, and granddaughter Arabella. Also voting early on Tuesday was Clinton's vice presidential pick, Tim Kaine, who brought his mother Mary with him to his Virginia polling station. Eric Trump also cast his vote on Tuesday and shared a photo of his filled-out ballot, which is technically illegal in the state of New York. Most tracking polls put Trump leading Clinton, but just a few percentage points heading into the final hours of the election. The USC LA Times Daybreak tracking poll put Trump leading Clinton by 3 percentage points, 46.8% to 43.6%, which is less than the lead of 6 percentage points he had at one point over the summer. In a four-way race, the IBD-TIPP presidential tracking poll shows Trump with a 2-point lead over Clinton, 45% to 43%, and with Gary Johnson getting 7% and Jill Stein 2%. When Stein and Johnson are taken out of the equation, it's Clinton who leads Trump by a percentage point in that poll. Real estate tycoon Trump has built a devoted following of tens of millions, including large numbers of Americans who have never voted before. Along the way, he angered some in the Republican Party establishment who saw him as a reckless insult generator destined to alienate large swathes of the American electorate. Clinton and her 800-strong campaign team stitched together an agenda that was unremarkable for a typical Democrat, save for a leftward tilt brought about during an unexpected strong primary challenge from Senator Bernie Sanders. She pledged to raise the minimum wage, provide paid medical leave, build infrastructure, and try to reform the nation's immigration system. But with the Republicans likely to keep control of Congress, one of her chief requisite challenges will be to play defense and protect Obama's legacy from continued GOP attacks while protecting her own administration from investigations that Republicans have already telegraphed. Clinton pulled off an organized, scripted and visually stunning convention that whipped up the party faithful, tended to interest groups and crystallized concerns about Trump's anti-immigrant appeals and a proposed Muslim immigration ban with a passionate speech by a Gold Star father whose son died in Iraq. The former Secretary of State made her final appeal to voters at a rally in Philadelphia.
And personally, I am so happy to be finishing this campaign with my husband and my daughter by my side. We've been traveling across the country separately, trying to cover as much ground as possible and talk to as many voters as we can. But I'm really glad that we're all together tonight in Philadelphia with you. So make no mistakes, our core values are being tested in this election. We know enough about my opponent. We know who he is. The real question for us is what kind of country we want to be and what kind of future we want to build for our children. And tomorrow, we face the test of our time. What will we vote for, not just against? What will we decide is on the ballot? Because although my name and my opponent's name may be on the ballot, every issue you care about is on that ballot. I regret deeply how angry the tone of the campaign became.
Not your fault.
I am not going to let anybody rip away the progress we've made and turn the clock back, sending us back in time where people are free to question the foundation of our country. What our founders here did, they did not agree on everything, in case you haven't remembered. There were lots of contentious arguments, but they saw a higher purpose, and they came together. That's what I want us to do, and we can take the first step tomorrow. Please make a plan to vote. Pennsylvania, it all happens tomorrow.
Mr. Trump, who crushed Republican opponents through improvised and slashing attacks, immediately engaged, staging a Twitter and TV war with Kazia Khan in an unorthodox move that caused a media frenzy but failed to appeal to centrist voters he needed. Trump gave his enemies ammunition by repeating more than 500 times a pledge that as president he would wall off America from Mexico, stemming the flow of narcotics and human chattel, while defending the border from an unchecked flood of immigrants with no legal right to be in the United States. More damaging still was a series of episodes that angered feminists and other powerful women in a year when Trump was running against America's would-be first female president. His candidacy brought women out of the woodwork to accuse him of sexual conduct of varying severity, including one woman who sued him for alleged teen rape and then withdrew the case when her story fell apart. The flamboyant businessman made his last remarks in Grand Rapids in Michigan ahead of the voting.
Now it's up to the American people to deliver justice at the ballot box. And I don't have to say do it tomorrow, do it in a week. You're going to do it today. You'll go to sleep for a couple of hours, right? Go to sleep. You go to sleep for a couple of hours. You wake up, you cast you. Then you can go back to sleep or go to work. You people don't go to sleep. You'll go back to work. I know my people. Together, we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again, and we will make America great again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
If the margin is tight all evening and the result is in doubt, western battleground states like Nevada, Colorado, and Arizona could turn the tide. The polling places will be among the last to call it a night, but candidates are voting in New York, and there is one certainty about the victory party. It will be in New York City. The Trump and Clinton campaigns booked celebration venues just miles apart in Manhattan. New York City police officers will flood the streets Tuesday to prevent violence and disorder breaking out when the results are announced. There are similarly massive security presences the nation as the FBI has put law enforcement agencies on alert for an ISIS attack. The Central Intelligence Agency and other spy agencies are on guard for potential cyber attacks